We often model education as a mechanical pipeline, a continuous system where material enters one end and mastery exits the other. Yet, empirical observation consistently breaks this assumption. Instructors frequently encounter absorbing states, conditions where information is delivered perfectly, but zero learning actually occurs. The observer-dependent theory of everything approaches this anomaly by treating the student as an active observer. In this framework, the physical and mental state of the individual literally constitutes the flow of information. Transferring knowledge functions as a nonlinear physics problem dictated entirely by human perception, rather than a simple logistical challenge of pushing data. This charts Pankratow's cognitive flow balance equation. The gating mechanism is the coherence multiplier, a parabolic curve from 0 to 1. At absolute 0, perception is lost. Learning output is 0. At 1, representing complete cognitive closure, flow also drops to 0. But at exactly 0.5, cognitive flow reaches maximum intensity. Individual learning exists as a fragile, highly unstable condition. It requires a perfectly balanced openness, resting on a mathematical knife edge between apathy and absolute arrogance. If an individual's ability to learn is so fragile, how do study groups or crowded classrooms maintain any momentum at all? The answer shares a structure with early vacuum electronics. Here is Irving Langmuir inspecting a vacuum tube in the early 20th century. Langmuir established that, in a vacuum, the flow of electrons isn't just about the voltage applied. The flow is limited by the space charge, a cloud of particles that creates resistance. To overcome this, the current increases at a rate of 3/2 relative to the energy, because the particles need both speed to move and momentum to stay in a focused stream. Pankratov applies this same 3/2 ratio to the mind. If coherence is our observation energy, then cognitive flow is the result of that energy overcoming the resistance of the subject matter. Doubling coherence doesn't just double your learning, it increases the flow by a factor of 2.8. Just as physical particles behave differently en masse, the physical laws governing human cognition shift the moment individuals form a collective group. Every student carries a specific cognitive footprint, or a B profile, favoring traits like emotional engagement, consistency, or empirical reinforcement. Claude Shannon used information entropy to measure how resources are distributed in a system. Pankratov shows that if a student focuses entirely on one trait, their individual entropy drops and their learning stalls. But if a group combines these different specialists, the group's average profile becomes perfectly balanced. This balance creates the complementarity principle. When a group's diversity covers all cognitive traits, total flow reaches a threshold mathematically more efficient than its individual members. Crossing this triggers a phase transition. The group operates as a single exponential learning engine. A classroom isn't merely a room of separate minds, it's a specialized physical structure capable of generating collective breakthroughs mathematically impossible for the individual. But a single classroom is still temporary. How does society preserve this volatile cognitive output across centuries? Consider the physical longevity of major educational centers, like the Sorbonne. Universities routinely outlast the empires, financial systems, and governments that founded them. The Cascade coherence metric models nested layers: individual, group, faculty, and institution. They obey the law of independent misalignments. For the entire system to collapse, every single layer must fail simultaneously. Localized failures are absorbed by the stability of the institution. By calculating the math for just 3 nested organizational levels, the stability of the knowledge, its configuration lifetime, increases by 9 orders of magnitude. True education is not merely the transfer of facts, it is the deliberate architectural engineering of a multi-tiered reality designed to sustain human knowledge against the decay of time.